Next question is kind of hotly debated that I hear a lot is like, what is your close rate? And do you want to close 100% of your bids? Matt, I'm going to go to you last because I know last time we talked, you got pretty, you're passionate about this topic. So I'm going to start with Sean on this one.
Oh, that may not have been good. Okay. So no, I do not believe your close rate should be 100%, but I believe this is a diluted and a moving target. We have this conversation with people about your close rate. Close rate of what, and what do we start with? A lot of guys will close rate and say, I close 50%. 50% of what? Every single opportunity you got, or 50% of the ones you thought were good leads? You see what I'm saying? So they let the whole conversation is convoluted because no one has a set parameter of what is or is not a lead. So with that being said, I will tell you that we track it microscopically. We know exactly what it is. And I have a team member here for years has been around 50, 51%. What does that mean? That means 50 to 51% of the opportunities that he goes to and gets in front of, he's closing. That does not mean that we're closing 50 to 51% of every single person that calls this office, comes by here, sends us a Facebook message, or emails us. Okay. We vet those down. We do use My Salesman as a great tool for us to vet those guys down. We use conversation over the phone to vet them down even further so that when we do send that resource out, we're closing at a higher cash ratio. So we're able to do, if you think about it, we have one full-time estimator, one inside office, outside estimator part-time, and myself, I run a couple of leads a month. We're able to do 5 million in sales with that two estimators, basically, in gross revenue, right? But we only allow our estimators to go up to 4 estimates a day, period. Cannot go to any more than 4. 3 is our average for the out in the field guy. So that's my quantifiable data. It's going to be different for everybody because you got to understand where the leads are coming from and what you're counting percentage of.
Sure. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, we're really in the same boat. So we base closes based on quotes we give out. So, and again, this is going to sound almost like I'm mimicking Sean, but we use My Salesman to qualify. It's a mandatory first step they have to go through. Now, there are exceptions, new homes, stuff like that. Matt, I'll send you an invoice for that plug later.
Thank you very much.
But so by the time there's a phone conversation involved, and then we send out the proposal. So by the time we send the proposal, these people know they know the price range is going to come in at. They know our rough idea of where we are schedule wise, 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it is. So we've already tried to self-eliminate the people that don't know what their budget is or that need it next week. And there's just no possible way of getting that done. Right. So 40 to 50% is where we like to see it stay at. 100% is a very clear indication that something is incredibly wrong in your pricing. 100% shouldn't even be close to correct.
Yeah. Now, Matt, I know last time we talked, you gave me a specific number. I don't remember if you remember what it was, but what is your thought on the whole close rate thing?
So first of all, I want to tell you that the people on this panel are forward thinkers, and anybody that's listening to this, these are the people that are forward thinkers, and I know a lot of fence people across the nation. I've met a lot of people, and I hang out with a lot of really smart and successful fence companies, all the way from the Seegers Fence on the East Coast, which if anybody knows that name, you know that they are one of the more forward thinking fence, all the way to Fence Factory on the West Coast. And including the American Fences in the Midwest. So I'm telling you, every single one of them will tell you that if you're over 50%, you're doing something wrong, that your prices aren't priced right, and that you can't handle all that work, and you're going to end up having a crash. So I don't want to even put out a number. I mean, we talked about it, and we track it very closely. And I know when I get to a certain point, there's an evaluation that needs to be done. And these people from Cannon all the way down to Joe, because we're stacked up here, all of them like the idea of pre-qualifying. That was the whole idea of our software. Is I got tired, and I quickly learned, oh my gosh, 1, I don't want to go on this many leads when I was a one-man band. 2, I don't want to land every job because I can't do every single job. I want to land the best jobs that are in our sweet spot revenue wise. And that's how I grew our company. And that's what we base this on. That was the whole idea of my salesman, was to solve an industry problem.
Yep.
So
definitely.
I want to add to that real quick, Matt, because I didn't say it, and you just reminded me of it. So our capture ratio is based off a lot of different things, but what Matt is talking about is backlog. Okay, has a lot to do with capture ratio, and net profits or gross margins have a lot to do with it. So our 51% capture ratio for Scott in the field, based on our margin goals, 45% margin goals, 45 on every one of his jobs, and our backlog of less than 2 weeks, right? So if my backlog was 6, 8 weeks or 12 weeks, the conversation now is going to be like, why, what are we doing? Right. So we got to change that. If my margins aren't high enough, then we would change that. All those pieces have got to be taken into consideration for your company on what your best capture ratio is.
Perfect.
I agree.
Got it.